This is a scientific study. They interviewed 5,000 men. This is the most up-to-date research that we have on masculinity, and the results are fascinating. Guess now, what do you think is going to be the strongest predictor of positivity in men? Is it their health, mental or physical? Is it their work and job satisfaction? Is it their relationships? Is it true that married men are happier? Predict now, what do you think is the strongest predictor of positivity in men? Okay, you've got your guess? Well, here's the answer according to the research. If you guessed job satisfaction and work, then you'd be absolutely correct. According to the study, job satisfaction is by far the strongest predictor of positivity, being around 3 times higher than the next strongest predictor. This isn't because men are overly materialistic or because they're obsessed with making money. What the study found is that a big predictor of male positivity was their ability to make a positive impact on their company's success. They wanted to feel useful, worthwhile, and valued. This study was done by Dr. John Barry, co-founder of the male psychological section of the British Psychological Society. In both studies, they found that men who were confident that they made a positive contribution to their workplace had a positive mindset. The study concludes that the quickest way to improve your mindset as a man is to find satisfying employment. Have you ever come across those people who seem to enjoy the challenge of seeing how little work they can do and still get paid? As if there's some kind of perverse pleasure in seeing how much they can scam the system? Well, it turns out that they're really only hurting themselves. What they should be doing is working hard and making a positive contribution to the workplace. Yes, it'll be good for your employer, but it will be even better for you. What's interesting is that both studies found that men consider their mental health to be of much greater importance than their physical health. Across every age group, American men placed greater importance on their mental health than even their physical health. As the study says, this is not primarily about wealth, but a sense of making a difference, being part of something bigger and more meaningful. So, with that in mind, getting men into fulfilling work is at the top of their list of recommendations, which they call 7 magnificent paths to increased positivity. So if you've got a buddy who's unemployed or working a terrible job, and you're absolutely certain that that's the cause, of maybe send him a link to this video or to this study. Hopefully when he sees the science of it all, it might inspire him to make a change. The second recommendation is health. Looking good and feeling good. The study says that it's not about some punishing physical routine, but more about holistic health that comes with looking after yourself with good exercise, good grooming, and a healthy diet. Number 3 is to support relationships and families.
What nice guys do is what they suffer with is not that they're too nice or anything. It's just that they have incredibly weak boundaries when it comes to women. They simply are not just women. It could be anybody. What they do is they lack a lot of masculinity. And what they do is they blame the fact that they're so nice as to why they can't get women. But it's not about being nice. It's about a lack of masculinity. And one of the best ways to establish masculinity is placing boundaries, particularly with women. When you don't like a behavior, you don't roll over and allow it to continue and then give her more in order for you to get her. You set a boundary and you have a willingness to walk away. One thing I would say about people pleasing, they say that it's linked to an absent father. They say that having a father figure does is that rough and tumble kind of play and that harsh criticism gets you in the habit of speaking truth, even if it's not the nicest thing to do. Whereas the absence of that can actually make you think that you're going to offend, because it's easy to offend mum, it's harder to offend dad. So when you get used to that rough and tumble kind of verbal altercations with fathers, it prepares you for the real world of where you are less sensitive and more likely to be truthful rather than people pleasing.
What about the opposite then? What about treat them mean, keep them keen, as opposed to people pleasing?
Again, another tactic that's very much advocated in current dating, but is again counterproductive, because the moment you treat people mean, you filter out healthy people. Healthy people don't stick around to be treated badly. That doesn't go in line with their template of relationships. Healthy people have a template of relationship that requires mutual respect. Now, when they're with somebody who treats them mean, they filter themselves out. Nice guys, what happens is they don't like to exert their boundaries and they don't have a willingness to walk away. So what ends up happening is their nice nature becomes a reason for resentment, because women don't like it, because then they don't feel protected. They feel like you're weak. If you let a woman make all the decisions for you, she'll slowly start to hate you, because she'll feel like she has to raise you and she'll lose respect for you.
So I think the words "will hate you" is a bit strong, but a person must understand how attraction works. Obviously, over thousands of years, women have wanted guys that will be great providers, care for them, look after them, cherish them. Because obviously a lady will be pregnant for 9 months and have small children, and she won't be able to protect the family. Either she's pregnant or she's got small children or a number of small children. So ladies obviously are gravitate towards men they think will be able to look after the family in a really intelligent, brilliant way. And if a guy can't even make a decision or can't even come up for something, how's that person going to lead them into safety and success?
So what we truly want is not a man that just is like chaotic. We just want a man who we can trust makes good decisions. He's not the nice guy. He's the one that we'll submit to. But the one that doesn't trust his own decision making and we have to do it and he comes across as being nice, essentially he's seen as weak.
Yeah, overly pliable
Yeah.
is the term.
It's really easy to have the willingness to walk away when you're somebody that has a lot of alternatives, and it doesn't just mean other women. It could be a lifestyle that is alternative to being settled down. But when you're somebody that doesn't have many alternatives, the willingness to walk away decreases. So I do understand it's very difficult for men to have that. But without the willingness to walk away, she'll look for a man that does have the willingness to walk away. She'll look for a man that does have boundaries, because we need them as women.
It's strange. And I also understand that it must be ruthless to think, oh, well, I would really like a nice guy. Maybe your last relationship was with some dude that was very avoidant, like masculine in a non-supporting way.
Yeah.
And you think, okay, well, I'll go for a nice guy. I'll go for a guy that's a bit more pliable and a lot more agreeable. And then if what you're saying is true and you end up resenting them, and you go, oh, that wasn't what I wanted either. So it must be difficult. It must be difficult for a girl.
Essentially, what we truly want is a man whose decision-making on his own is one that we can naturally submit to. What I mean by that is if I have to tell you to do this, that, and the other, and you listen to me, I don't respect you anymore. Because if I had to tell you and you listen to me and I'm better than you at making decisions, I'm more powerful than you, I don't feel protected. You simply have to be a man that could literally take a girl by her hand and lead her into whatever lifestyle you is, but she feels safe in that knowledge. But if you're the type of guy who's like second guessing himself, if you're second guessing yourself and then submitting to me, we automatically don't find that attractive. It works well for women who are planning to manipulate you. So the women that are planning to manipulate and planning to use a man, they love this guy without boundaries. The girl that genuinely wants to have a connection with you, build a family with you, have a network with you, she actually wants you to have a backbone and wants you to have an opinion. The one that's planning to not stick around too long, the one that's planning to keep in touch with another guy, the girl that wants an alimony as soon as the kids arrive, that's the one that wants you to be this people pleaser, bend over backwards, do everything I say. Two people pleasers, like where the woman is just a nice girl and the guys are just a nice guy, they don't create an authentic connection because neither of them are giving each other the glue or the vulnerability to attach. One saying, I'll just do what you want. The other one's, okay, I'll just do what you want. We don't know each other. We're just a comfort blanket. But one of them at least has to be a bit disagreeable to create that connection, give you that kind of glue to attach to. So unfortunately, two people pleasers don't usually end up together.
You married a man that's beneath you because you're terrified of being betrayed.
And it's very true. A lot of women and men use that strategy. But the problem is you almost guarantee the divorce. If I marry someone beneath me to prevent him cheating on me, that doesn't change the other aspect that is required for a healthy relationship, which is bringing equal value to each other's life. And when one feels like they are married below, it doesn't work out either. The true connection comes when you both bring equal value. You know he can't do any better or she can't do any better. Eventually that catches up because a person with low self-esteem eventually starts to get so much low self-esteem that they might seek external validation. So they might be more likely to cheat or more likely to betray you, because that low self-esteem can create a desire to connect outside.
Two things that makes me think about. First, I had the director of relationship science from Hinge, Logan Uri, on the show about a year and a half ago. And she taught me about people confuse spark in the beginning of a relationship for something special without realizing that some people are just sparky to everyone.
Yes.
I think it's very dangerous to be attracted to charismatic, attractive people just because of that. There you are making the big mistake. The mistake that all charmers and users and players would want. You're not realizing there are fundamental traits that must be in place far more important than that. They must love God. They must be committed to God's ways. There must be deeper things like shared interests, people that can solve problems well, people that develop and make you grow. and who are committed to developing your passions and interests and you as a human being for God. Just focusing on spark, attraction, and charm is very dangerous.
Do you think men and women can be friends?
Yes, I do. Do you think they can be friends?
I've seen it go both ways.
Uh-huh.
More times than not, it seems to mess up.
The other thing is, I just think if you are a woman or a man of value beyond your sexual kind of prowess, if you've got something other to offer, isn't it natural that men, women, old, young, everybody's going to gravitate towards you and want to be around you? I just think it's natural. It's a natural consequence of being a valuable person is that people gravitate towards you. In the male and female form, they will gravitate towards you. So to kind of have an arbitrary rule that you can't have male and can't have female, it would only work if your personality is limited. If you have a limited personality, if I'm a girl that only talks about hair and makeup, of course I can only have female friends.